Alright guys, welcome back to the channel and the latest roundup of wrestling game news, where today we have new previews of the upcoming Revel with Wyatt pack for WWE 2K23, we have some new roster announcements for Virtual Basement's The Wrestling Code, and then we also have a few updates on AEW Fight Forever, including some incredible new mods. So let's start off with AEW Fight Forever, as the game's only been out for around 2 weeks at this point, yet it's already beginning to develop a large user base for mods, as we've already seen various modders add in new AEW stars and arenas, as well as importing over WWE stars, with Witty Witterson leading the way on this, as he's already imported a lot of stars like Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton and The Fiend. As for the most impressive mod, that has to go to Lynch Reborn, as he's working on a mod for the exploding barbed wire deathmatch, which he's managed to turn into this crazy looking exploding barbed wire Inferno Hell in a Cell deathmatch, which even comes with a working elevator that you can quickly use to transport to the top of the cell. If you're interested in learning more about mods for AEW and how to install them, then I highly suggest checking out ProWrestlingMods.com, as not only do they have a full mod database, but they've also got a great tutorial section to help get you started, so I'll leave a link to that in the description. Staying with Fight Forever, let's talk the base game, as Community Manager Zyddie has been keeping players up to date with changes and updates via the AEW Games Discord, with the latest update addressing concerns surrounding online ranked matches, as there's been complaints about people quitting matches early to avoid having losses added to their record, as quitting out the game early seems to stop a loss from being awarded. In the update, Zyddie explained that if a player disconnects during a match, their opponent will receive the win, along with the corresponding ranking points. While a disconnecting player doesn't receive a loss and lose points immediately, they will be matched with other players that disconnect at a similar rate. That means if you disconnect frequently to avoid defeat, then when you start searching for a match, you will be paired up with other players that tend to do the same, meaning you'll struggle to get a win, as it's likely the opponent will disconnect before the end. Zyddie also added that once players disconnect repeatedly in a single day, player rank points will also be deducted. So to sum things up, the way the matchmaking works is that players who disconnect will generally be matched with other players that disconnect, while players who don't disconnect early will be matched together. When I started editing this video, I thought I'd play an online match that I could get some footage to use, and as you can see from the gameplay, online is just an absolute mess. I feel like a lot of the players that are disconnecting are probably only doing so because of how bad the connections are, as this match is pretty much unplayable. Unless they can do something to address it, then I don't see how a mode like Stadium Stampede could work, considering that there's these problems with 2 players, never mind 30. Up next, let's talk the Wrestling Code, as the past month has seen several new announcements surrounding the roster, with the biggest update being the announcement of Matt Cardona, who was announced as part of the game's main roster.
This is the Internet Champion, the Indie God, the Death Match King, Matt Cardona, and I am coming to the Wrestling Code. No downloadable bullshit. I'm in the game at launch. Reboot, radio silence, all authentic. Play the game or go f*** yourself.
Grabbed all the rings, but you take.
Following on from the announcement of Matt Cardona, Virtual Basement also confirmed former ECW star Jerry Lynn as their latest signing, though it wasn't confirmed if he'll be part of the base roster or as DLC. Either way, Lynn's announcement sees him become the latest signing in a long line of ECW originals, as he joins the likes of RVD, The Sandman and Sabu, who are just a few of more than 10 ECW stars already announced. Along with these announcements, we also got a teaser for a former WWE Women's Champion, as the Virtual Basement Twitter account tweeted out "All the Things She Said Running Through My Head," which are the lyrics to All the Things She Said by Tattoo, which is a teaser for former WWE star Victoria, as this was the theme that she used between 2002 and 2004. Before we get to WWE 2K23, I wanted to quickly mention WrestleQuest, which is a wrestling-themed RPG game that is set to release next month on August 8th. If you're on Xbox, you can actually try out a demo of the game today, as WrestleQuest is featured in the Xbox Demo Fest event that runs until July 17th and features demos for more than 40 upcoming games. If you want to try out the WrestleQuest demo, you can either search it in the Xbox Store on console, or alternately, I'll leave a link to the Xbox Store page in the description where you can then redeem it and set it to download. Finally, let's talk WWE 2K23, as we're just a week away from the release of the Revel with Wyatt DLC pack, which is set to release on July 19th. Ahead of the release, the official WWE Games Twitter account has shared some new previews, with the first of these giving us our first look at the return of Sarah Logan, who now appears under the new name of Valhalla as part of the Viking Raiders. Thanks to the screenshot, we know that she'll feature the attire that she wore during her debut with the group back in November, where they seeing her with the antlers headdress and half of her face painted black. Following the reveal of Valhalla, the WWE Games Twitter account went on to share the full entrance video for Schism's Joe Gacy, so I'll play that video for you now, though I did have to remove the music as it ended up getting blocked when I tried to upload it the first time. So that's the full entrance for Joe Gacy. I think he looks really good, though the one nitpick that I have is the mask, as I don't like the way that it glows with the dark light settings, as it doesn't really look like it does on TV. Aside from that though, Joe's model looks great. I think we're at a point now where the scanning's got so good that it's rare to see a bad one, as when you look at all the recent models, the new ones always look so much better than the old ones, which are a few years old, as that was something that I thought really stood out in the second DLC pack when we had new models for Gallows and Anderson stood next to AJ Styles. Going back to the entrance, the way it looks, I'm really intrigued to see if this works as a multi-person entrance when you add managers, or if there's a separate Schism entrance, as the placement of Joe and the way that the camera comes in from the side had me visioning the other members standing around him, as I could imagine them doing something similar to the way that the Bloodline entrance works, where the same main motion is used and then the other members are just added in around it. Following on from the Twitter reveals, this week's episode of the WWE 2K Showdown stream also brought with it some reveals, so let's go over what was shown there, starting with the first look at WWE legend Zeus, as during the stream we got this new screenshot showing off a shot of his entrance, with this confirming he'll have the black and gold outfit he wore at SummerSlam. Also shown off on stream was the first look at the entrance of Uncle Howdy, who originally wasn't part of the initial DLC lineup, as he was only added to the pack last month when 2K confirmed he'd be included as a bonus character. Now that we've got footage of his entrance, this also confirms that he'll be included as a playable character, as there was some speculation that he might only be a manager, though that doesn't appear to be the case, as Uncle Howdy is fully playable. Moving on to the last of the reveals, and saving the best till last, the Showdown stream also showed off the entrance for Bray Wyatt, which comes complete with his Forbidden Door. So that's the first look at Bray Wyatt's entrance. For those wondering about the mask and the attire, the version of Bray that we're getting is quite a recent one, as the black mask is one that he wore back in February during an episode of Smackdown. So that's the latest DLC previews. The only person left to be revealed is NXT's Blair Davenport, as she's also included in this pack, so keep your eyes on the WWE social accounts over the coming days, as we should get her reveal next. Finally, one last piece of news that I want to add was that it was announced during the Showdown stream that we'll also be getting Sami Zayn's Worlds Apart theme included with the DLC, as Cornell announced that Sami's theme will be available in the Creation Suite, so players will be able to update him and give him his current music once the DLC drops. So that's the latest roundup of wrestling game news. Let me know what you made of it in the comments, and stay tuned to the channel for more. Until next time though, thank you so much for watching, have yourself an awesome day, and I'll catch you later.